tell me why you entered the Small Team Awards, sort of what got the idea going and how you got the team involved?
Yeah, sure. So IDBS entered the SDI Small Team of the Year Awards really for one main reason, which was we'd been making a number of improvements over the course of the last few years. Internally, they'd been recognised, but we had no idea whether or not they'd been externally recognised or whether other people thought they'd be good things as well. So it was really to make sure that we were rubber stamping our work outside of the company. It was absolutely paramount to get the team involved, so luckily everyone in the team pitched in.
Okay, and can you sort of give us a little bit of how much sort of time went into the entry and how did that go? How did you find that?
Putting the entry submission together was certainly I won't say it was a lot of work in the sense of it was difficult and we needed to do lots of things and spend a huge amount of time on it. Really what it made us do is it made us think about everything that we did, collating all the information, really making sure that the different categories were properly described. I did a rough estimate, but you really don't know exactly, but I think it probably took us about 2 weeks to put the submission together in terms of physical time and effort.
Okay.
But it was spread across the whole team, so one person didn't sit there for 2 weeks putting it all together.
Yeah, and I guess that in itself is a sort of team activity, really.
Absolutely, and what it meant is that the team themselves were able to see everything that we did. Sometimes you get a little bit insular in what you do, and having an appreciation for absolutely everything, all the different categories that the SDI asked for, it was quite eye-opening for some people, I think.
Okay, and then obviously you ended up winning. And can you tell us a bit about what the effect that had on your desk and on your team afterwards, and what were some of the positives to come out of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I kind of said this before, actually before we won the award, but service and working in a service desk is sometimes a little bit of a thankless task. You invariably speak to people who contact you with some kind of negative context.
Yeah.
So the team themselves aren't often able to sort of proactively demonstrate their skills and their worth. So I think for them to win something that was all about the things that they do was huge.
Yeah.
It's such a positive experience. They were, as I said, they were all involved, so it wasn't a case of someone doing it and then they kind of tagged along. They had a real vested interest in winning, and yeah, it was hugely positive for the group. Internally within the organisation, it kind of rippled through everyone as well, and everyone coming up the next day in the next week offering us congratulations, and marketing immediately asking where the logo was. So it was fantastic.
Okay, great. And what about sort of outside as well? Customers, industry peers, things like that. Having good feedback and.
Yeah, it's really been non-stop since we won, which is good.
Yeah.
I guess from our customers' perspective, the first thing was that as soon as we won, literally the next day, one of our account managers was speaking to a customer about a potential sale, and he dropped in the fact that we'd just won an award in the support team, and the customer was extremely happy, and it was it was very good for the customer and our account manager.
Yeah.
And what it's really done is it's made a few people sort of listen to what we've got to say. People have been asking about what it is that we've done and why we've been successful, and it's great to be able to share your knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. And so once you won and sort of got back took it all in, how did you celebrate, and what's the sort of plans for building on it for the future?
Well, the initial celebration was obviously on the evening of the award win. I think there were a few sore heads the next day, but justified.
It's not just you guys, don't worry.
We obviously won the award, which included a generous prize as well, and that was a consideration of how to move on to that, and what it's done is we got feedback from the SDI after the award itself, about what was good and what would potentially be things that we could look at. So we, as hopefully most people do, haven't stopped trying to look at how to improve. So we've taken those comments on board, and we're looking at those as well.
Okay, great. So looking to like sort of awards going to be coming up for next year, and people are starting to think about their entries, what would your kind of biggest tip be for potential entrants for the next awards?
I think the biggest single tip that I can offer, because it worked very well for us, was to make sure that you allow the entire team that you work with to contribute. Don't make it sort of one person's view of what your team does or what your group do. Having everyone do it and getting their buy-in was fantastic for me, and it also meant that they really, really wanted to win.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so you definitely encourage people to sort of go for it and get everybody involved.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for talking to us today.
Not a problem. Thanks very much for taking the time to talk to me too.